Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Canon crossover Optimus Prime R5. You can see him there in front of his box. We'll go ahead and put the camera stuff off to the side because we're going to look at, well, the box. You can see, Canon Transformers and his robot and alt modes there, and, Japanese and English and Transformers and Takara Tomy. Up here you got Canon Transformers and Optimus. On this side you have the camera mode, Optimus there, and then on the side you have the robot mode. On the bottom you have a whole bunch of warnings and copyrights and all that stuff, and on the back you have a whole bunch of product shots on what's included and all that stuff. You also have the instructions, which pretty actually straightforward. They tell you all the accessories and everything, even a little bit of a tech specs right there for him and so on and so forth, and also some of the cool stuff that's included and the accessories and features and all that stuff. Now, Optimus, the Canon version R5 EOS, an EOS R5, very high-end camera. It's I believe it's usually about $3,000 or so. But you can see, it looks like an actual camera. I believe a DSLR for this version, this particular camera. You can see, it's as a lot of these stuff that a normal camera would have. It has the Canon logo there. You have the silver ring where the lens is attached. You have the logo. You got that, kind of the very textured grip, all that stuff. You have some stuff because making it obvious it's a robot. But yeah, you got button, and you have a whole bunch of buttons and dials and switches back here. You got the what would be the flip out screen. You got the viewfinder and all that stuff, microphone and symbol, because there's a microphone there. And over here you even have some stuff for the like headphones and power and microphone. I'm guessing probably their SD card or battery down here. Actually, this battery, that's probably SD card right there on this particular model, or maybe no, this right here. There it is, card, right there. See, I don't have this particular model, and this is where the clip would be for, like, on this side and here. This would be where the strap would go for, like, that, for, like, for on the head, neck. Flash would go here, and on and off switch and all that stuff. Even kind of a full hole for the tripod or whatever. This unfortunately does not have the threading, so you can't actually mount it to a tripod and all that stuff. You also have the lens, which it's pretty much a cylinder with some ridging. It would spin, but even got the markings, 24 to 105 millimeter. You can lock it. Autofocus, manual focus, stabilizer, on and off, all that stuff. You also got the silver here. You can also see inside there's robot bits, and also the lens cap, which just says Canon. And it has the fake spring-loaded thing. It's cool though. Yeah, again, this is like separate. It's a separate piece. You can see bits of the robot in this thing, and it actually separates like a real camera would, which is really cool to me. This it's actually, you have to do the thing like you have to match it up. There's you have to put it in at an angle and then twist it. Doesn't lock in like a real camera's would, but like lock, but it does have a bit of a soft resting point. Doesn't like click where you have to press a button or anything. But that, you can see again the lens right there. It's cool. And this thing, unlike a real lens cap, which can just kind of be you just squeeze this part and put it on. This actually just has to go on a very specific way because brand stuff, so it has to say it Canon right there. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Another cool thing about it is this is button. You can actually push it. That's the the take picture button, I guess. You can actually press that. This dial right here actually spins. This dial spins right there, and this dial spins. And that's real neat. This unfortunately isn't open or anything. This isn't open, at least not for actual, like, I guess, role play purposes, because it's so there's no like fake screen on that. So that's a thing. But you can also see some hints of blue peeking out on the seams because of the Optimus. Well, it's got blue on him. And there you go. It's a pretty cool looking camera. Very way out of my price range. $3,000 camera. It's like a little much for me. But it's pretty cool. I really like it. A couple accessories. I'll get more into those in the robot mode because I feel like they kind of fit more with that. But I guess comparison. Here it is with my DSLR EOS Rebel T6. Older model camera and also much lower end because it's a beginner entry level camera. But you can see. The big thing here is this is about actually 80% of the size of the real camera, so it's not quite as big as the real thing, but you can see kind of the general ideas are still the same here. A lot of the same stuff. So just thing you can see. I have a camera. lens isn't quite as fancy as this one. You can see, yeah, you can see a bit more of a high-end camera, this one. So there you go. Now, cool thing is how it transforms. So that transformation, getting into that, it's actually pretty simple, but also pretty intuitive. You can leave the lens cap on or off. I'm just go ahead and take it off because technically it is a accessory which we'll be using again in robot mode. Now, first thing here you want to actually do though is right here, this bit right here, which you grip, you know, like I would to the camera. You just take that and pull it out like that. This will let you open up this screen right here, and then that will let you bring the legs down, bring this piece up. Make sure that up a little bit further than you would think it would, then close it back up, and then this fills in this gap right there. Down here at the legs, you want to go ahead and take the feet here, and they will unfold all the way, like so. They'll unfold like that. Then take this piece and rotate that down at that hinge, and these pieces can come up and fill in those gaps. You can go ahead and split the legs, and you can have a, well, I guess that's a girl walk mode, although this is going to be very front heavy, so you have to be careful. But you have your girl walk mode, I guess. It's going to be a bit front heavy, though, but you have your girl walk mode. Walk around and take pictures. But yeah, anyway. So beyond that, so next thing you want to go ahead and do is up here, you want to go ahead and bring this down. And they tell you to do it separately, I'm not sure why, but you can bring that down and bring this piece down and just kind of have something like this. And then all this part right here, you want to go ahead and untab this and bring that up like so. See that? Yeah, bring that all up. Now, raise the camera up a tad. There we go. Now, up here, what you want to do is bring the arms out like so. And see, there's multiple hinges here. Yeah, in this mode, you kind of have these hinges inward. You want to just bring those all the way out like that, so they kind of lay flat against this. And just kind of leave the arms like that for now. And then here, what you want to do is bring this forward like so. This untabs this, so you can then bring this right here. You want to, one at a time, bring one back, fold it in half, and then bring it forward. Then bring the other one back, fold it in half, and then bring it back forward. And that actually, you have to do it like that way because they otherwise will get in the way of each other. Now, from there, you want to go ahead and right here, this top part, you want to bring this back like this. You'll unclip right there. You'll bring this back. And then there's a slider right here. Slide it down. And then there's a little tab right here, which will go into the slot right there. There you go, like that. Now at this point, what you want to do is go ahead and this, again, this will come all the way up like that. And this right here, this will lay flat in this little channel. And you want to rotate this back like this, so it goes behind the camera body. There's the head right there. You want to bring this behind the camera body, kind of click into place. And this right here, there's a little tab right here on this piece will come over top of this and help lock the rest of this in place. Right here, there's a tab right here. Will go into the slot right there on the side of the camera, like so. And a slot right here, or a tab in a slot right there, like that. Down here at this corner, now I can bring this down a bit. This corner, you want to go ahead and undo this piece. It will kind of tabs in a bit. It's kind of weird. This is just for the sake of symmetry, really. But this piece right here, you want to, it's on a like weird double hinge thing. You want to, it'll untab, you want to push it in like that. It'll kind of help make things a little more symmetrical there. And this piece, what you want to do is bring this up, fold this in, and fold this back like that, like so, and then bring this up and in and click that into place like that, like so. Make sure that's all the way in, like that. And then final step here, go ahead and open up the forearms, bring out the fists, close them back up. Open up the forearms, bring out the fist, and close that up. And there you go. There's Optimus in his robot mode. And yeah, kind of one of those things where it's like, it's very much in this realm of you're going to have to just really like the novelty of this because it is kind of a weird looking robot. So there is very much the novelty is the big draw here of just an Optimus that turns into a camera. And yeah, and also blatantly has camera bits hanging off him, you know, because again, the viewfinder is pretty much his, like, the lens is pretty much his entire chest, for example. You can see camera, like the cape from the lens hanging out back here. So yeah, but I mean, his entire upper torso is just, you know, his entire torso is pretty much just camera. You can see again a lot of the camera bits, but you can also see cool thing like his head is, you know, got a little like camera bit on his forehead. He's got his blue eyes and silver face. You got the Canon logo on this forearm and his little, you know, yellow arrows and stuff. And over here you got the big old Autobot logo, and you got his legs and waist. You got the yellow there, and you got the blue and the silver feet out of the camera. The backside is actually pretty flat, all things considered. But again, this is kind of a somewhat of an egregious backpack just because it's so, well, yeah, you can see that. So that's one of those weird ones where the backpack's going to be kind of weird for some people. Also, that tends to attract, this kind of plastic tends to attract pretty much all sorts of dust. So there you go on that front. Again, if you're also sitting here going, well, what about reflector? Isn't a reflector supposed to be camera? Well, yes, there is a reflector version. I believe that was a Tomy Mall exclusive, though, so he's just by default going to be more expensive for me to get than this one, so I just kind of opted for the Optimus. And, of course, they just also recently revealed, yes, Nemesis Prime is a thing, and he is going to be coming. And, of course, I am a fool, and I went and ordered it. So, yeah. It is kind of an awkward thing. He has kind of an oddly wide torso. This lens sticks out way far. All this stuff he's kind of got some weird proportion issues, but like very much the novelty of him turning into a camera is kind of what sells it. And it's one of those things, if you don't like that novelty, this is not going to work for you. But yeah, he does have a couple accessories. Again, the lens cap here, you can, of course, leave the lens cap right there on his chest if you want. If I can line that up. You can leave that there if you want. It's one option. But of course, there's a little flip out handle thing here with a tab in it. And the hands have slots in them, fairly large slots. And you can, this is a little more difficult because the fingers and stuff, but you can get that in there and get that tabbed in, hopefully. It's a little difficult to do because of the nature of things. Yeah. So you can hold that like a shield, which is neat. That's a cool thing you can do. He does have a little camera. It's just a really small R5. EOS R5. This little one, which again has a little tab there on the slot. So again, it's only can be held in his right hand, unfortunately. But the little slot there, you have to open up the hand a very specific way because it's shaped for that. So you have to get that tab in the slot in his palm and wrap his fingers around it. And there you go. Now he's holding the camera. So you take photos, I guess. And yeah, he has a matrix, which... It's upside down, but yeah, it's a weird looking matrix. It's kind of a little bit different than normal. It's got some weird bits attached to it, but you know, it's still got the silver, copper, and blue. It's kind of hollow on one side, and yes, he can hold in either hand. You got these slot tabs on the sides, so you can hold in either hand. I don't think I've tried, but I haven't successfully got him to hold it with both hands at once. I think it's going to be a little difficult, but you can hold that. Or, the other cool thing is you can go ahead and open this up right here. Right here, you push this piece in right there, and that creates a little hole. And you take the matrix and you make sure, again, you can only go one way. If you see there's a little extra like tab thing right here, then you need to go on the top because there's little notches right there on the hole. And you just go ahead and put it in. So you can also put that in camera mode, but you know, it's one of those things that kind of, you know, ruins the whole disguise thing. So I just like to leave it for this. I believe reflector comes, I can't remember what it comes with, it's something different, and Nemesis Prime will come with a dark spark, I believe. So a bit different, or dark all spark, something like that. Yeah. So they all come with a different accessory, but you know, They also have the come with the extra camera and the shield. And by the way, that tab, if you're wondering about Masterpiece, I believe this tab is too big for Masterpiece figures to wield it, so you can't really they can't really use it, unfortunately. I mean, you can kind of wrangle probably a grip of some sort, but that is not going to tab into the hand very easily. Anyway, posability, kind of a weird mixed bag here. You got the head, the ball joint, so your left and right, up and down and waggle and all that stuff. Shoulders can technically do a full 360, except these flaps get in the way, so you're pretty much limited to that far back. Outward, though, you got full outward. You do have, bicep swivel. Elbows can go pretty good. Nice curl there. The hands, you have, all fingers are on as knuckle right there, and this, the pointer finger is on its own individual. So you got that, and that's the one knuckle, and then the thumb itself is also on a hinge right there. The wrists are also on ball joints, so you got, lots of swivel there, and also because of there's an actual cut in the palm, you can do that with the hand. I'm not sure what use that might be. I mean, you could theoretically kludge the matrix thing, but yeah, it's that's definitely a thing you can try to do something with, but yeah, there's only so much you can do with that, I feel, but yeah. Unfortunately, as far as I can tell, there is no waist, and I'm not going to try to force it because it feels like there's very much not a waist. I'm not going to try to force that because I don't want to break anything, but yeah, there's no waist, unfortunately, so that's a weird one. Hips, though, you got actually a soft ratchet forward and back, that much range forward and back. Outward, just friction, not far, though, all full splits. You do have a thigh swivel. Knees, you actually have 90 degrees of bend, and of course a bit of detail showing up when you bend the knee. That's pretty neat. And the feet, you don't have any tilts, but they are sculpted for an A stance, and I guess you can do that, which I don't think can be helpful in most situations, but hey, you do have a decent amount of posability, just not a whole lot of posability, so that's a little unfortunate that. But anyway, a real quick comparison though. Here he is with the Earthrise Optimus. He's significantly larger. He's in that weird thing. He's not going to scale with mainline. He's not going to scale with Masterpiece. Masterpiece would be towering over him. So he's just kind of his own thing. That's another part of the novelty of it is really what is going to sell you. So yeah, that's a comparison, and there you go. That's the Canon Optimus Prime R5. Yeah, like I said, again, to repeat myself, this is very much hinges on the novelty of an Optimus that turns into a camera. And the same with the kind of the degree of the reflector. I think the reflector is probably going to be, for some people, the closest they're going to have to a Masterpiece reflector. But as it stands, it's kind of cool, but also, yeah, it's limited in weird ways. It's got a pretty neat transformation that's not actually that difficult. You can actually also, by the way, transform the lens and the camera body separately. However, you're going to have to, there comes a point where you're going to have to start putting them together before you finish transforming, because otherwise it's going to be, basically, before you start, bringing this stuff down, you have to, because you have to twist this in, the lens part in. But yeah, you can transform separately, so it's kind of a neat thing. Is the fact that you can remove the lens is really cool. And it is very realistic from what I've seen in the pictures. It's very close to the real thing, so that's pretty cool. It's just kind of a cool novelty thing. It's more or less, it's like if you're kind of into photography in any way, this is probably going to be much cooler for you than someone who's just kind of meh. Like, that's the big thing, particularly since this cost me total with shipping about $130. And that's, yeah, with shipping and everything. Buy domestic is going to cost you closer to, well, $135 or so before shipping. So he's not cheap. And that's the thing, big thing there, is like he's also has kind of somewhat limited articulation. He does look a little goofy in his robot mode, and that's kind of what it comes down to. If you're okay with all this stuff and you just like the sheer novelty of a camera guy like this, might want to consider picking up or getting the reflector, because again, you might just prefer the idea of just its reflector. Understandable, reflector is the camera guy. I just, it's going to be easier for me to get this one, so this is the one I picked up. Plus I collect primes anyway, so that's where I'm at personally. But I think overall, yeah, very much it's going to be limited to, I think it's limited, audience is going to be limited. A lot of people I remember this verse was revealed and people went, why? yeah, so it's kind of spendy probably because of the Canon license, and it's a bit spendy. It's kind of limited, but it's kind of got really awkward proportions and everything. So it's just simply going to be, I think, again, leave a lot of people in the cold. But if you just kind of love just the sheer novelty of this, it is kind of neat, and it is kind of cool the fact that you can hold the camera like a real camera and kind of, push the button and everything, push the shutter button and take the pictures and all that stuff. So I think it's cool, but again, I think a lot of people are just going to want to pass on this just because it's a novelty toy, if anything. So if the novelty appeals, go for it. I think if it doesn't, it's going to be a really expensive mistake. So there you go. I hope you found this video informative and entertaining. I hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my co-host, cohost.org/Nemesis-Prime. Check out my Coffee Man Patreon. And I shall see you next time with another video review.